Alright, welcome back everybody. This is GTM here. We're going to be covering another basic video tutorial on Polygon modeling. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and launch up 3D Max here. And we're going to basically just do a simple lamp. I want to introduce some more Polygon tools or methods to my intro to modeling students. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and launch up, or I'm going to go ahead and place up an image here in our viewport. So I'm going to go to Views, Viewport Background, or remember it's Alt B. And then I'm going to go ahead and locate my image, which I have in right here. So where am I? Character model sheets, I'm sorry, here we are. Alright, here goes our lamp. As you can see, it's been already grayed out. I'm going to go match bitmap, lock zoom pan with my front viewport activated. I'm going to press OK. As you can see, now I can scale in and out. I'm going to hit my G key to turn off the grid. Alright, as you can see, I'm going to go Alt W, by the way. I'm hitting Alt W. As you can see, we have a basic lamp here. Alright, you know, just by looking at it, it's as simple as it gets. You know, it's a standard cylinder here. So I'm going to go to my standard primitives, grab cylinder, and I'm going to just lay one down. It doesn't matter what size it is, we can always resize it. Alright, and in my perspective viewport, I'm going to hit F4 to turn on my edges. Otherwise, it's right here. Right click. I like to use smooth highlights with my edges. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is when it comes to polygon modeling, you don't want to start off with too much geometry. That's usually a bad habit. So the first thing I'm going to do is at least line it up right to the base of the lamp from my front viewport. As you can see, I'm moving it in the front viewport and matching up. I'm going to hit Z to Z up on that. And now the next thing I'm going to do is, well, let's get this grid out the way in my perspective. I'm going to hit G. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down my sides and height segments. So I'm going to go to Modify. With this selected, I'm going to Modify. And I'm going to go 3 in height and 8 in sides. We definitely don't need a lot of geometry at all. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prep this object up. As you can see, I'm hitting Alt and my middle mouse to arc rotate. Alright, I'm going to convert that by either clicking on it from here, convert to editable poly, or from here, editable poly. And I'm going to go ahead and name this lamp. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is prep up my object. Not that it's necessary, this is just something I do personally. I'm going to hit M from my material key. I'm going to grab this shader, drop it right on there, and then I'm going to click on my object again, click my swatch because I like to show black lines, and now you can see my edges are black. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do, and like I said, this is just my personal preference when it comes to modeling. Like I said, there's 101 ways to model this lamp, but I wanted to introduce this technique by doing some, I suppose, regular edge looping. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this polygon off the top. And let's say off the bottom. Oops, I forgot to go to the top. So top and bottom, I'm going to hit delete key to get rid of those. So now I have no face. Alright, so back to the top viewport here. Now, I can actually, if I wanted to, I can click here, and I'm just going to go ahead and scale this up uniformly. So when I hit my scale tool, and that's actually R on your keyboard. If you want to know the hotkeys for these three, your move, your rotate, and scale, just click on your object, and it's W, E, R are the three different keys. Alright, so I'm going to actually take my scale. I'm going to scale that up to, say, I don't know, I guess right about here, which is fine. Alright, from there I'm going to go to my vertex mode. I'm going to highlight all the way through. And when you do that, make sure ignore backfacing is checked off. Not on, but it's checked off. That way when we scale through, we're going all the way through and selecting all our verts. Another thing I want you to do is always pay attention to your top viewport. When you scale, a bad habit a lot of beginning modelers do is they won't grab the uniform scale. See how it scales at uniform? What they'll do is end up grabbing the side here, and notice they're trying to scale and they're skewing it in, and now they just messed up their geometry. Look, it's all jacked up. It's not perfectly round. So get in the habit of, when you grab your scale tool, just hold your mouse up and down, or hold your mouse down, the pointer, and then go crank it up and down, and just to see how much tension you can pull off by you know, cranking your mouse. Looks like I went a little too crazy. So here you go. Just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Alright, anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and scale that in. I'm going to match that right there. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to match this to about right there. I'll grab that. And at the same time, I'm paying attention to my front viewport, or my top viewport. Scale that in. And then I'm going to scale this in right here. And if you want, you can actually Alt W, and I'm going to kind of zoom in here. And I'm just matching the base of the vase here. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some extra geometry here. So if you look at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and take my edge, click on one of my edges, and just ring it, connect. It gives me that extra geometry. And then I'm just going to hit my check mark right here, just OK that. And then from there, you know, I'll probably either grab my verts, or since my edges are selected, it doesn't matter, I can just scale those in. Say something like that, and then I'll probably bring this down. And then maybe scale it back out just a bit. Something like that. You know, I could probably get this a little more detail, so I'll grab an edge again. I'm going to ring it, connect, hit my check mark there, and then I'm just going to scale that to match it a bit. Something like that. And you know, we could probably lip this off. A couple ways we can do it. I can either just take this border, since it's an opening, just like that, and I'm going to raise this up to about right there. And this edge loop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down shift. As you can see, when I hold down shift and I pull on the or Z axis, I can grab it from here, the front, or from the perspective. It does not matter. So if I hold down shift, it duplicates that edge right there. And then I'm just going to actually hold down shift again and use my scale tool. Or I could cap it off, it doesn't matter. Just a little bit like that, and then I can cap it. So I want that extra edge in there. Alright, from there, looks like that was pretty simple. Let's go ahead and get our top here, or the lampshade, and that's just a basic, you know, we can go cylinder, we can go tube, does not matter. But in a lot of cases, we'll probably just go cylinder because we don't want to add all that extra geometry. So I'm going to grab another cylinder. I'll probably just place it right from the top. It does not matter. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. And I'll raise it up to match it like that. And then let's go ahead and just match that there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and convert that to a poly now. I'm going to go ahead and delete that face and that face. And if you'd like, you can, you know, always drop your gray shaders on. Does not matter. That's optional. And I want to change my lines to black again. Alright. Oops. I accidentally went orthographic. If you ever see this, make sure you stay out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my F key to get back in front. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go to my scale here. I'm just going to scale that up. And I'll probably, I don't really need 3 of these, but you know, I could have did it basically one shot. You know, because if you can do the geometry. Now remember, this is not a true orthographic view, so it's going to curve. Don't get in the habit of trying to match that curve. You want to keep those straight across. And like I said, I didn't really need those extra geometries. I don't know why I put them in there, but I guess it worked out because now I'm going to actually teach you how to get rid of them. So I'm going to grab an edge here. We didn't necessarily need these. Grab this edge. I'm going to go loop, my loop tool, hold control down on the keyboard, and then I'm going to hit remove, and this is all in edge mode. So when I remove it, it gets rid of them, but the reason we hold down control, I'm going to go ahead and backspace. So if I don't hold down control when I remove, it looks perfect, or it looks good, but if I go to my vertexes, as you can see, I have floating verts, and that's usually not a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those verts too. So I'm just going to highlight through here, make sure I select those verts. Verts always got to connect to an edge of some sort. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hold down control now and remove those. There we go. Alright, now I got to, you know, the basic lamp, the basic top here, so with the lamp shade, I guess. Sorry, I'm half awake here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and I can either use a shell modifier to thicken this out. Like this, I can drop that, but you know, I just want to introduce a shell modifier. So now it shells out the lamp. That's one way you can do it. But like I said, if it's geometry that's not going to be seen, feel free to just, you know, we'll just take our borders here. And I'm going to grab this border at the same time. Whoops. And then I'm going to go use my scale tool. I'm sorry, my scale tool. And I'm just going to scale those in simultaneously. Oops, I better do it once at a time. Let's go shift, just like that. I'm going to probably grab this one. I guess I could at the same time. We'll do one at a time. Something like that. So as you can see, I just kind of shift dragged. And now I'm actually going to take the borders on the top. And I'm going to scale, not scale, but I'm going to shift that in just slightly. And scale it out to match the contour. So it's kind of an illusion. We're not really building the inside. And I'm going to do the same thing for the base. So I'm going to grab it from there. I'm going to hit shift. And then probably scale this slightly in, just like that. Alright, from there now, let's go ahead and add our details to our lamp here. So, I'm going to go ahead and take my edges. And let's see. I'm going to grab this edge. Hold down control. Whoops. I didn't want to scale it. Grab that edge, this edge, and this edge. Something's really, I think my mouse battery is running out of juice. This is why it's tripping out. Alright, and then from there, with those edges, I'm going to loop them. I'm going to go ahead and go to my chamfer tool right here. And as you can see, I have my chamfer tool. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and as you can see, I can tighten it or round it off. I'm basically splitting the edge here. Just want it slightly split. And press OK or check mark. And then I'm going to do it to the base now. So I'm deselecting my top. And now I'm selecting the base. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm gonna grab these edges. I got one here. I'm probably gonna grab this one here. Once again, I think my mouse is tripping. There we go. I'm gonna grab that one and this one. Alright, with all those selected, I'm gonna go ahead and go loop and hit chamfer again. And then I'm gonna kind of tighten these up here. I'm gonna hit OK. Alright, so now that I got all my details in that I wanted, I'm just gonna hit this top. I'm gonna attach it to the base here. So now it's all one piece. Right? And since we put all those little extra cuts and chamfer edges in there, I'm gonna throw a turbo smooth on this. I'm gonna go 2 iterations and ice line displays, and as you can see, we have a pretty decent looking lamp. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw down a plane here. And of course I want you to get in the habit of rendering out in ambient occlusion. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down. That's a plane, and then I'm just going to bring down my line segments. We don't need a bunch of segments in our plane. I'm hitting my M key and I'm just dragging that on there. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my shift drag and probably just do a couple of these lamps. Just kind of randomly place them around. Alright. Here, I'm going to change my line edges there. Alright, let's go ahead and set ourselves up a simple render. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to actually switch this to mental ray. I'm trying to get you guys used to doing your ambient occlusions. So I'm going to go to rendering setup. We're going to change our renderer from our common tab to assign renderer. We're going to go default scanline. We're going to hit that right here. Go from default to mental ray. Press OK there. Now I'm going to hit my M key. We're going to grab a blank shader here. I'm going to go to my standard button right here. Click that. And we're going to type in ME until mental ray shows up. Alright, in our surface slot, once again, we're going to look for the ambient occlusion path. So I'm going to go AM. Okay, there it is. I'm going to change this to 64. Like I said, the higher, multiply it by 2. 64 times 2 is 128. 128 times 2, is that 160? I don't know. I'm no mathematician. But, yeah, so from there, also on your max distance right here, let's make that 0.0. On earlier versions of max, they're usually set to 0.0. 0.4 will probably blow it out. Alright, with that, we're going to go to our parent level. And right here on the processing tab, we're going to check material override. And I'm going to name this dirt. Ambient, does not matter. And I'm going to go ahead and drag that. So I'm clicking, dragging that right here, make it an instance. I'm going to go back to my renderer tab right here now, and we're going to change this to 1 and 64 and to Mitchell. Like I said, I learned this technique from Everflow, with a slight few adjustments, but from everflow.com, and I explain about them a little bit more from past tutorials. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and line me up at an angle here, and just to see what I'm rendering, I'm going to right click on I'm in perspective. I'm going to go to show save frames. I'm probably going to scale this out, the floor, something like that. And once again, my mouse is getting stuck for some reason. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and render that out. As you can see, we got a decent ambient occlusion pass. Alright, and from there I want you to save this out as a render, JPEG, whatever you'd like to call it, lamps lab or whatever. Save it out and post it up in the forums at digitalvamp.proboards.com. That's basically all of my students. And if you just happen to find this video on YouTube, hopefully you picked up a few simple techniques. Thanks for watching.